On behalf of SIX, I would like to welcome you to today's webinar. Many thanks for the numerous registrations. Over the next 1.5 hours, you can expect exciting presentations all about the eBill service. My name is Axel Göldner, and together with my colleagues, I'm responsible for the further development of eBill. Caroline Steger and Nino Tom will moderate the webinar beside me. Caro is product manager and Nino head of marketing. Furthermore, Baroness and Peach Fischer will support us during the Q&A sessions. The first Q&A session will follow Nino Tom's presentation. The second will take place at the end of the webinar. You are all invited to submit your questions at any time using the chat functionality. Especially for those of you who can only join us by phone, the webinar will be recorded. This recording and the presentation will be sent to all participants by email after the webinar. Let's move on to the agenda. We will start the tour de raison with an overview of the current market development of eBill and our ambitions, followed by insights into our current marketing activities, which will be presented to you by Nino. This will be followed by a review of the integration of eBill into the e-banking and mobile banking of financial institutions, followed by a demo of new functionalities. Both topics will be presented by Caro. Finally, Caro and I will give you an outlook on 2022 and will be pleased to answer your questions afterwards. So let's start with the market development. eBill has performed very well over the last 12 months. With more than 2.2 million users, we now reach more than half of all households in Switzerland. This is also reflected in a very positive growth in the number of transactions. Compared to the same period last year, transactions have grown by 20%. Every month, companies send millions of eBill invoices, which their customers are most liable in paying. Over 95% of invoices are settled before their due date. In comparison with paper invoices or email invoices, this signifies that they are 10% to 20% more likely to pay the invoices. The fact that the attractiveness of eBill continues to grow is also thanks to the 95 participating financial institutions that make eBill available to their customers. Just under 4,000 companies already bank on eBill for their invoicing, and the trend is sharply upwards. A wide range of 6 partners offer eBill in the corporate market, meaning that there is a suitable solution for sending eBill invoices for our companies, from small and medium companies to large corporations. Based on the impressive figures, we also see that eBill still has a lot of potential on the way to becoming Switzerland's digital bill. To achieve that goal, we are focusing on an annual growth of 25 to 50% in transactions. In the following presentations, we will show you what we are doing to achieve this growth. Nino will now present to you what we as SIX are doing to support you as a financial institution, but also the network partners in achieving this potential from a marketing point of view. Nino, the floor is yours.
Many thanks, Axel. Dear guests, dear colleagues, welcome to this eBill webinar also from my side. I'm happy to present you today an update and some insights from the marketing side. My name is Nino Tommen, and I'm responsible for marketing and communications in the business unit banking services, which is one of our 4 departments of 6. Under this roof, we cover several products and services like cash, debit cards, open banking with B-Link, and the whole billing environment with eBill and QR Bill. In the beginning of this year, PostFinance and SIX announced that the physical payment slip will be removed from the market. This groundbreaking step will change the payment landscape fundamentally by next year. Not only will the QR bill replace the orange and red payment slip, even more, it is an opportunity now to stronger position eBill as a future payment method. As something that is more convenient, something that is more secure, paperless, and strictly digital. In our marketing strategy, we were following 6 steps, as you can see here. Starting with the user journey to understand potential gaps we need to solve. Then we went to brand repositioning, where we will see some impressions today. We created a new visual look with new pictures, images. We did surveys also together with our stakeholders like you, and we published a new website and launched a broader campaign this year. As we had the previous webinar more than 8 months ago last year, the repositioning of eBill was just close to be finalized. As a result, we have been able to relaunch a new designed website with new visuals, new images, more documents, marketing material, and also some new sections in the navigation part, like the news section. On top, it's now much more easier also for potential clients to reach his or her financial institution to register for eBill in a dedicated drop-down. And there we see also our main responsibility on the side of 6A. We want to raise the awareness in the market for eBill, and B, we want to enable you. We want to enable our partners on the communication side. Ideally, we can create leads together and send the potential customers to your online banking channel so they can sign up for eBill. Next to the website, we have also produced advertising material that you maybe also already know, fact sheets, banners, movies, and other marketing material. All this is available on the website of ebill.ch and free to download or use on your channels. If you wish a co-branding on the advertising files, or maybe you're looking for additional documents, just reach out to us and we are happy to support together with our agency and to offer you this service. Let's jump now into our campaign activities from this year. Initially, it was planned that 6 runs an overarching campaign in Switzerland towards the broad public. This is what you can see in the first line here. The main goal was to raise the awareness in the market. What is eBill? What problems does eBill solve? How can eBill help me in my payment behavior? Just to explain actually what eBill is. So more on the branding and the awareness side. As 6 runs a broader campaign in Q1 and again in Q3 this year, the financial institutions are invited to join us and run their activities towards their existing customers then in Q2 and Q4, and therefore benefit from an increase in awareness. So ideally, potential customers already know what eBill is, and the banks can convert them into active eBill users and therefore increase the loyalty of each customer, as the access only works through the online banking channel. So more eBill means an increase of use in bank-owned channels, a client interface that gets more and more important in these digital times. Together with the banks, the software partners, and also the companies, as you can see here, the companies that send invoices through eBill, Rechnungssteller, we try to find a kind of a rhythm in communication over the next year to reach our ambition for more eBill customers and more eBill transactions. Let's have have a look on how these advertising appeared in social media and so-called motion banners, similar to a short movie, and also in static posts to bring users to the eBill website and interact with the content and ideally go to your website or online banking. This campaign was active mainly on digital channels like social media. We did Instagram stories, we did Instagram posts, we are active on Facebook and also on LinkedIn. Next to social media, our campaign was mainly active as display advertising, which means that our banners were placed across the Swiss digital media landscape. You could see that, for example, on NZZ or the Tamedia Group, or also on single newspapers like Watson. As this was our first general campaign, we decided to go for a broad targeting on women and men across the whole country, but with a stronger focus on urban centers and a affinity to payments, banking, technology, and digital topics in general. So this was kind of the targeting. Therefore, we expect to reach the so-called low-hanging fruits with our campaign, as these people are most likely regular online banking users, and therefore they are very close to eBill or to convert into eBill. So during the whole campaign, we could also observe a strong increase in interaction and traffic on our website. So I guess we will see first results in additional eBill users, hopefully in the next few weeks on your site. And this is now also the chance for you to reach out to your customers and to force the conversion, as the awareness regarding eBill topics is hot now at the moment. To even build up a better network of communication, the Swiss banks founded an additional so-called working group. We call it the Arbeitsgruppe Marketing eBill. With this alliance, we want to approach the market even more simultaneously, united with common measurements and wordings. Together we can address challenges, learn from each other, and share best practice. So please reach out to your communication specialist within the bank responsible for payments and discuss further activities on your own channels and to reach out to your customers. If you need content, stories, movies, or more, then we are here to support, to help you. And we as SIX also hope to even learn more from your client side. So let me now open the focus maybe a bit more and switch to a topic that is a priority for all of us. By the end of September 2022, the red and orange payment slips will disappear from the market and replace the QR bill, as I mentioned initially. Therefore, we from SIX designed a central communication platform for banks, small and medium-sized enterprises, and also for the media, for journalists. This page is named Pay Simple, Paiement Simple, and in German it's called einfach-zahlen.ch. This website explains in a few sections what will happen next year, what invoice issuers need to do, and also what kind of benefits can be expected on the one hand for companies and on the other hand for you and me, for the broad public. On the website, you can also find additional fact sheets, checklists, movies, and also images that we uploaded just a few days or weeks ago, how the QR bill can be paid. So we have some use cases published in form of pictures and how to pay it. Please go there, use it, download it, and start an intense communication also towards your customers. But why am I telling you this? Well, because it's a huge opportunity to position eBill at the same time. QR bill is only a transition solution towards eBill. eBill is the digital invoice for Switzerland, and this is the future. So therefore, we from SIX always communicate eBill together with QR bill. And to explain this whole story even better, we produced a movie I would like to share with you now.
In Switzerland, millions of invoices are issued, sent, and paid every year. This costs companies and private individuals a lot of time and money, and also pollutes the environment. But this is all about to change. As of the 30th of September 2022, the red and orange payment slips will be replaced. This will make invoicing simpler, digital and automated, with QR Bill and eBill. QR Bill is the successor to the previous payment slip. It can be printed or issued digitally. The QR Bill consists of a payment section and a receipt. The Swiss QR code digitally contains all payment information, which is also printed in plain text. You can create QR bills yourself in just a few steps with your digital invoicing solution, and either print them out or send them digitally. With QR Bill, invoice issuers have many advantages. The QR bill can be printed directly on perforated paper, sent by mail or electronically, processed fully automatically, and converted in an e-bill if required. Your customers can pay the QR bill via e-banking or at a post office counter, or it can be sent to the bank as a payment instruction in an envelope. In addition to the QR bill, eBill offers an end-to-end digital solution for invoice issuers and invoice recipients. eBill is the digital invoice for Switzerland, available in online banking of almost all Swiss banks. Millions of Swiss citizens and thousands of companies have already put their trust in eBill because eBill makes issuing and paying invoices digital, simple, and secure. With eBill, you receive your invoices where you pay them from, in your online banking. 4,000 invoice issuers already use eBill every day. There are also no known cases of fraud, thanks to the security standards. Seamlessly send invoices directly and securely to your customers' online banking. This reduces effort, and you retain control over the entire invoicing process. With eBill, invoice issuers benefit from many advantages: less paperwork, resource, and less environmental impact. You receive your money more punctually. eBill reduces the effort for you and your customers. On the 30th of September 2022, all payment slips will be taken off the market. Convert your accounting system to eBill and QR Bill now, together with your bank and your software partner.
So I hope you like the movie as well. And then please allow me to do some closing remarks to share with you. In February this year, we reached the magic number of 2 million eBill users, also mentioned by Axel in his introduction. And this was announced in a media release by SIX, and several newspapers talked about it. As happy as we are with the amount of 2 million eBill users, we see at the same time lots of potential in eBill transactions, mainly in eBill transactions by each customer. So please keep up the focus on that, and let's work towards additional eBill transactions to help this ecosystem to even grow faster. I see now is momentum for digital payments, and better than even before, and this goal can be only reached together. In the next few days, you can expect additional videos on our eBill website. In fact, we will show new functionalities in a cool way to potential user better understand possibilities eBill offers, but also the range of problems that eBill can solve. Like all other movies and content, this will be available in all 4 languages and for you free to use in your client communication. The final topic I would like to share is more a matter of heart, together with several payment experts from the banks of Switzerland and also Liechtenstein, and with representatives of the Swiss National Bank. We redesigned the Swiss payment magazine Clear It and launched today the brand new magazine under the name of Pay. The launch was today in the morning, physically and digital available. So get the latest copy free of charge and keep yourself up to date on the latest payment trends in Switzerland and even beyond. And eBill will always be one of the main topics in this magazine. And this year, we already presented in our last webinar. It is our white paper on the future of billing. Please also make sure to get a copy of this one and learn about billing and payments more from an academic point of view, with some nice infographics as well. So that's it from my side. And we have now the possibility for questions that you can post into the chat. Maybe there are already some questions available? Anyway, you can reach out to me also directly, Pari.
No question available at this point of time, Nino.
Okay, so I hope everything is clear, and please reach out to us as a marketing institution over your contact within SIX. We are always here to support you in your communication activities towards your client to let grow this eBill environment together. Then please allow me to hand over to Caroline Stege for the next part. Thanks a lot.
Great, thanks a lot, Nino. Let's come to part 3. Of course, if you have any questions that come to your mind later, you can also ask Nino those questions in our last Q&A. Exactly. Okay, let's come to part 3. Now it's about how to optimally integrate eBill within the EMM banking. We saw with Nino how to create awareness, how to the marketing works, how you can support in the means of marketing. Now we're going to take the focus more on the product side and see how this awareness can then transform into a conversion. And we're going to have a look at all the registration flows, the onboarding flows, and how to optimize them. Last year in 2020, we were looking at exactly this, like a seamless user onboarding, and we were putting live some measures in how to optimize the process. Now, it's the right time because with the introduction of the QR bill, it gets even more important to focus on mobile onboarding. A lot of users scan their invoices, no matter if they're PDF or paper, using mobile applications. So they use their scanner apps, they scan QR invoices or other invoices with their mobile phone. And it's very important to capture these volumes that are paid with mobile and to transfer them to eBill. In order to do this, we need to implement those measures that are there to convert those payments, not only on desktop apps or like in e-banking, but especially with m-banking because of this growing importance of the scanner apps and the use of m-banking. We created a blueprint in 2020 where it's described how to best integrate eBill within E and M banking. There's some tips and tricks. We have prototypes, mock-ups, and detailed descriptions about new functionalities and the ideal integration of eBill within the E and M banking. Now we're going to give you a short summary of what you can find in the blueprint. And I have 3 measures for you, how you as a financial institution can help give your customer the best eBill experience and create a great and seamless onboarding. Let's start with number 1. The first thing you can do is implement the direct subscription, not only for desktop, but also for mobile apps. The direct subscription is the hint that a user gets whenever he enters a payment. So let's assume he's paying an invoice, he got it via email or via paper, and he's scanning it with the scanning app of the mobile banking. Then you see the first screen, he will have all the information, says enter payment. If this invoice was from an eBill invoice issuer, he will then get a notification, hey, you could also pay this invoice with eBill. Why don't pay it with eBill? And he can say, okay, add invoice issuer, and the next bill will automatically be sent via eBill. And it's mandatory for financial institutions to have this implemented for desktop or in any way. But in order to catch this growing volumes that come through mobile banking, it would be great if it would also be implemented on m-banking and mobile phones. This measure, of course, aims, to develop already existing eBill users. Our second measure that I have is focusing on creating new eBill users. So e-bankers that have e-banking already, but not eBill yet. And we introduced in 2020 a new functionality which aims exactly at this. It's similar to what I just showed you before. This time, somebody again is an e-banker, he pays through mobile banking or on his desktop, he pays a bill, and then even if he doesn't have eBill yet, he will get a notification to register for eBill if he pays to a biller that is also active on eBill. And if he already saw some of the advertising that Nino was showing before, he knows eBill and he remembers, cool, I already saw this. Let's register for eBill now. And he can register for eBill. He does the normal registration process. And then, and this is the new functionality, he will already have added the invoice issuer that he was trying to pay the bill for in the first step. And this is an information that we would need from you as a financial institution. You can send along in the registration process which biller the user wanted to add. So if he was paying a Swisscom bill here, you can just let us know, start the registration for Swisscom, and in the end, the user will receive a super seamless and nice onboarding flow. And as a result, we'll not only have a eBill user, he will be already active since he already has a biller relationship and he can already get Swisscom bills from the first moment. So this is one of the new functionalities, and you will find also details to this in the blueprint that you can find in the member section. Good. The last measure that I want to show you is about the registration per se. So this one is about creating new eBill users. Let's say standard registration for eBill, I would say it takes about 60 to 90 seconds. But if you implement all the tricks that we have, we can bring this down to maybe 10 seconds, so 2 clicks. So normal registration is like this. At some point, the user clicks on, okay, I want to register for eBill within your e-banking. And then he's redirected to the eBill portal. So what he will see is this first screen here. He's asked to enter his email address. And if you already sent along to us the email address, he doesn't need to fill it out. So this would take away the time to think about his email address. So you can send this pre-filled. If you already have verified this email address and know, okay, it's really this user's email address, we don't need to send the activation code. So you can send us the information, this is already verified. So we can skip the whole process of the user having to verify via email, go to his email address, type in the activation code. This can be skipped if you say we already verified this. And then in the next step, the user needs to type in his address. If you already give us the address, he just has to choose if there's several and just to confirm. So if you do all of this, you send along the email address and you say this is already verified, plus you send us the address, it's a 2-click registration. So you just click on register, this is my email, right? And you click confirm on the address, and within not even 10 seconds, you will be registered for email. So this is some tricks to make the user experience even better for registration and onboarding. Exactly. So to sum up, it's important to not only implement these measures that we have in place already since a long time on desktop, but also for mobile to transfer the increasing volume of mobile payments also to eBill. Good. Let's move on to the next chapter of our webinar, which is the demo of our new functionalities for March and June in 2021. We've now seen a little bit of a, let's say, looking back at 2022. And now we have had 2 releases, or going to have 2 releases this spring. One was already in March and one is going to be in June, so quite soon. First, I would like to show you what we changed in March, since our last webinar was 8 months ago. We'll just show you what has changed in March. It was mostly focused on usability improvements, little things. We improved the experience, especially for heavy users. And in June, we again were targeting to improve the onboarding and especially the registration forms. Good. Let's start with March with the first functionality, which is batch approval. This one is one for the heavy users. At the moment, if you want to pay an invoice, you have to click twice for every single invoice. And now this one allows the user to select several bills and pay them at the same time. Let me show you this. Good. You can see here, usually the user always had to click here, approve, and then approve again, and you always have 2 clicks. If you now are a heavy user or you're eBill for Business user, you might have 20 bills. You don't need to check every PDF to say, okay, I want to approve this. So now there's the possibility since March to have the batch approval. So with the batch approval, you can decide, for example, you have this one invoice issue as a user, and they always send the same bill with the same amount. And yeah, you have a lot of them, so no need to check them singularly. So you can just multi-select all the invoices you would like to pay. And then you can decide from which account you would like to pay. Let's just choose this number 2. And then you can decide on which date those bills have to be paid. You have the choice of choosing a specific date or choosing the due date or saying as soon as possible. I will select due date. So those invoices are going to be paid, on the dates that are written here at the due date. You can see here the sum of all the invoices that you're going to pay. And then you just have to click on approve. And then, they were successfully approved. And you just needed to click once on approve instead of clicking, I don't know, I think it was 23 times of approving all of them. Okay. Next, the next feature I'm going to show you is the topic of accessibility. So in 2020, we're focusing on making the eBill portal accessible for all. So also blind or visually impaired people can use our portal by using the help of screen reading programs or screen magnification programs in order to be able to pay their bills individually without any help, and making the portal accessible also to them. And now we got a certification from Access for All, and this certification can also be found in the portal now. Yeah, exactly. Now you can see down here that we have the certification that our eBill portal is accessible to all. It can be read by screen readers. The navigation is possible just with the keyboard. And we reached the level A and AA under the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines 2.0. And of course, this is not just a one point in time thing. All features that are coming in the future, we're going to make sure that they are also accessible. Good. The next one I'm going to show you is a quick one. It's the presentation of account information. From a lot of financial institutions, we're getting the questions if we can make a field bigger so that you can easier see the account. So when you click on approve, there's this account field, and this one was quite small, so that the user, if this one is similar, could not really distinguish by not clicking on it. So we just make this field a lot bigger so that long account names can be seen easier. That was a, let's say, little fix. And the next feature I'm going to show you is the topic pagination. Pagination is one of the topics that's, again, something we did for heavy users. We are improving the performance for those who have a lot of bills. For example, this is a user that has a lot of bills. And when he was opening the eBill portal before March, it might have taken a little bit of a long time to load all the invoices because we were loading everything at the same time. While now, let's go here, there's a lot of invoices. It always just loads 20 at a time. So then when I go here, there's the spinner and it loads the next 20. Yeah, this is something we did to increase the performance of the portal. Okay, then the next one is about filters for the invoice overview. Also a much wanted feature, which allows the user to specifically look for invoices and filter for them. Let's say we go to the completed invoices. You now have a menu here, and here you can choose different filters. So if you're looking for an invoice, let's say from a certain invoice issue, from this one, you can say I'm looking for something that was more than 100 francs and between the date of, let's say, sometime in May till 1st of June. You can combine all filters together or also use them separately and get your results. Yeah, and if you don't want the filters, you can hide them again. You can filter both in the list of completed, so in all the already approved builds, or you can also do it with the outstanding ones. You have the same functionalities and the same filters here, to sort and find the bill that you're looking for. Okay. The last one that I'm going to show you that we did in March is about a hint when a standing approval fails. Let me directly show you here. Let's say there's a user and he pays this bill here, one communication, every month and the same amount, and he would like to automate it so he doesn't have to go every month to approve it manually. So he comes, he approves this bill, and then he gets the questions to set up a standing approval. So he does this, but by accident, let's say he does it too low and he puts an upper limit of 200. So the next time, the next month, he will get a notification again, hey, you have to pay it manually. And he might go again and approve this bill as he always does, but then he will get a hint to adjust the standing approval because we know that this criteria doesn't match the amount that he had there, and he has the chance to correct this. And so next time this is going to be paid automatically. And you can see here within the standing approvals, he has now the standing approval with this amount. So the next one that he gets, about 400 francs, will be paid automatically. Good. This was it for the features for March. Let's go ahead and have a look at what's going to go live in June. As I said before, the feature in June is mostly about increasing onboarding again, improving the onboarding process and making it smooth. At the moment, we use registration forms, which are externally hosted. And the problem with them is they're not really mobile friendly, they're not accessible, and they can come in any style. So the user has to leave the eBill portal to fill out these registration forms. And the goal, or what we're going to achieve here, is to integrate these external forms within the eBill portal, so it's like one homogeneous experience. Let me show you how we did this in the portal. So the first step that we did is, if you want to add an invoice issuer, we created a sub-page for the biller so that the user can see, okay, of which biller am I going to receive bills from? You have the website, you have the email address, you have the telephone number of those that you have it, and you have an overview here, also the address and the logo. You have this with every biller, the available information is shown. We also added, if you want to sign up for this biller, you see your own data. So you see which kind of data is being transmitted to the biller if you're signing up and say, hey, I want to have eBill instead of paper or whatever the current payment method is. And you see your information, and we hope data quality will increase because before you couldn't see which address you had. It might be 3 or 4 years old, you might have moved. So now you can see which data is being submitted to the biller. So for now, most of the billers require additional information. So when you sign up for eBill, you will get something like this. Under the information that you're going to transmit, there's written that the biller requires more information to identify you. This means that the biller only with this information can't recognize you, and they have all different own registration forms, which you have to fill out as a user. So from here, you can already see you're going to leave the eBill portal and go to something that could look like this. So it's a form which is most of the time not mobile friendly, not accessible. Often you have to copy, I don't know, the last number of your invoice inside of there. Sometimes you can't copy and paste in them. You can't open them on your mobile phone, or you can't copy in them. So they're all different and not homogeneous. So what we like to do is to get this subscription form within the world of eBill, let's say, and to not have them external anymore. but within the portal, and to reduce the number of different fields that you have here so that the user doesn't have to fill out, I don't know, 3 minutes of different inputs. So what we did is that we created this so that now there's no external form anymore, but you can have customizable fields here that each biller can choose. For example, if he needs the contract number, the customer number, you can directly put it here. No need to go to the external form. The form is integrated here. It's, let's say, in our control, so we know that it's responsible, it's mobile friendly, it's accessible. Yeah, you don't need to go to an external page. And yeah, it's customizable by the biller. So he can choose if he just wants to have the contract number, if he doesn't want to have anything, wants to have the date of birth. And he can also have an individual text up here that he can decide what to put there. For example, he can say, this subscription is only for your life insurance, but not for your motorbike insurance, or whatever he might want to write there. So this is the new solution if the biller needs additional informations in addition to what we provide him with anyways. And in the ideal case, it would be that he doesn't need anything more, and the subscription will just be done by clicking, and then the invoice issue is added, and you can receive e-bills from now on. So these three kind of differences that you saw now, they're going to be live at the same time until 2022. And from November 2022, this version that I showed you that you go to the external side, this will not exist anymore, so that all of the subscription forms will be integrated within the portal from November 2022. Just in the migration phase, we're going to have a phase where there's both this go to form version and the version where the formula is already integrated. Good. This was this. Let's go back to our slides. This was the overview of the functionalities for the two releases of the spring, the ones that we already had in March and the one that's coming in June with the optimization of the registration forms. Good. Now I would like to hand over to Axel to give us an outlook what's going to happen in 2022.
Thank you very much, Caro, for this interesting insights on our new functionalities. As I mentioned at the beginning, we want to increase the transactions volume by 25 to 50% annually. To achieve this goal, in addition to the already presented measures by Caro and Nino, we have also further developed the functionalities of eBill. As Caro pointed out, one of our focus is the customer-centric further development of the customer journey. We want to make eBill as intuitive as possible, and Caro has already shown you the new application forms. Another priority to achieve the growth targets is the development of new use cases. In 2022, it will be possible to process donations via eBill. The figures are impressive. Overall, over 84% of Swiss households make donations. 50% already use e-banking today. I will present the planned solution to you in more detail in a moment. In addition to new use cases, we are also opening new customer segments. I will show you what this means on the next two slides. Let me start with a brief overview of our target groups. In the first phase, we focused on private customers to achieve broad acceptance of eBill. The customers are processing eBill in e or mobile banking. 95 financial institutions are providing eBill to their clients that way. You saw the growth figures at the beginning of this webinar. While the first phase focused on ensuring eBill achieved a widespread coverage of private invoice recipients, the focus is now increasingly switching towards company. The aim here is to establish eBill as a future-oriented channel for receiving simple invoices. Simple means in the eBill format. We are following a two-stage approach. In the first phase, we will concentrate on SMEs that wish to receive and pay their invoices via e-banking or m-banking. Over 20,000 companies already benefit from this from this service offered by individual participating banks, since more and more financial institutions will be launching it on the market. In this year, the solution is likely to be widely available shortly. In the second phase, the service will be extended to companies that wish to receive and process eBill invoices directly in their business software. Let's have a closer look at eBill for business software and what's planned. We have designed a very, very simple solution that focuses on receiving the eBill invoices via the respective financial institution, XML file, and PDF. The transport channels already agreed with the financial institution, such as ABIX or B-Link are also used. This simplicity of the solution allows the respective company to carry out the account assignment, booking, archiving, and payment in accordance with its implemented standard processes without the need for adjustments to the process organizations. We provide the companies with invoices, installment invoices, credit notes, as well as notifications and reminders. We have sounded out the concept with various software providers, and all of them have confirmed that the simple implementation of eBill for business software, as described, is a great added value. No status handling is necessary on the part of the software providers. Let me summarize the advantages from the perspective of the banks and their clients. First of all, there are proven channels. The financial institutions send the eBill invoice to the business customers via the channels that already used today, such as ABIX or B-Link, as I mentioned. Simple processes. Once the eBill invoice is received in the software, booking and payment are carried out using the standard processes of the respective business customer. Therefore, no adjustments to the existing processes are required. And last but not least, convenient archiving. In addition to the electronic invoice data, the business customer will also receive a corresponding PDF. The invoice received can just be easily archived using the existing processes. As you see, very, very simple. In terms of timing, the concept is published on eBill.ch. You will find the link in the documents, or you can scan the QR code now. Together with the banks in the eBill working group, we will work out the detailed specification by October this year, and the software release will be in April 2022. And after that, the rollout can begin. That's all for me on eBill for business software. We would be pleased if you could look at the concept and leave feedback on the homepage. With that, I will pass you over to my colleague Caro, who will present the topic of donations to you.
Exactly. Axel has already mentioned that with eBill, we're aiming to be the solution of digital billing in Switzerland. And it's already possible to send and receive bills for a lot of sectors. For example, public sector, insurance, telecommunication, and many more. One sector that at the moment cannot be covered with eBill is the donations or the non-profit organization sector. They send not bills, but donation requests. And at the moment, this is not possible to send over eBill, but we saw the high volume and the high potential that we see within the sector. So our aim is to provide this sector where they still use a lot of paper, they have spreading loss, And we provide them with a good solution to reduce their spreading loss and to not have any media discontinuity. Because with eBill, with a solely digital solution, they could have an end-to-end solution without any breaks in media, as they often has now, because at the moment they're very paper-based. So we see this potential for digitalization for this sector. So our aim is to provide good solutions for the donation companies, but of course, on the other hand, as well for the donors, so that donors, in our case, the eBill users, can conveniently receive donation requests in eBill and release those requests there. Down here, you see a little mock-up. That's really just a mock-up, a prototype to show you a little bit how this could look visually. You could receive, next to bills, credits, and so on, you can receive donation requests. They can have different amounts. You can have options. They can have already pre-selected amounts. And you will be able to donate through your eBill portal or through eBill and receive these requests. And of course, we'll make use of all the onboarding methods and subscriptions that we already saw, what we have within the bills. At the moment, we are in the between concept and specification phase. Specification phase is starting now. We are planning or we're aiming at bringing the solution to the market in September 2022. It's not confirmed yet, but that's our goal. And we're planning to have the publication of the detailed specification in December this year. Yeah. We're still, as we said, between specification and concept phase. More information you will find on our normal channels. So through the circular and so on, we'll keep you up to date how we are progressing with eBill donations. And this functionality is going to be a network relevant functionality. So if we implement this, all financial institutions need to implement this. The reason is because if a network partner or biller sends a donation request, he doesn't know which financial institution this person or this possible donor belongs to. So every financial institution needs to be able to show that this is a donation request. So it's going to be mandatory to implement, but as we can see it at the moment, there's not going to be great efforts or almost no efforts to small efforts for portal banks. But also about this, we're going to inform you through the normal channels. But this is a little heads up for what we are up to with eBill donations. Good, this was already it. This was our outlook in 2022. Let's see if by now you have any questions to any of the topics or any of the people who were talking. You can also still have your questions for Nino, Axel, me, and we're happy to hear questions.
There are indeed a couple of questions for you, Caro. The first one of our participants likes to know whether there will be soon expected demo version of the eBill portal for our customers, so that customers can maybe experience with it or explore it, so that it's easier to gain such customers towards eBill.
Yeah, at the moment we don't have such a functionality. We have the quick guide, which is downloadable on ebill.ch. So there we have screenshots with descriptions. And what we're thinking about, and it's in our backlog, to also have this on ebill.ch, but at the moment it's not available. But we know about this wish, and if more of you are wishing for this, let's say the time, we consider putting this on ebill.ch.
Right. The second question concerns the end-to-end testing. So we are talking about eBill end-to-end testing here. It's important requirement, according to one other participant of ours, also in this case for customers. So would that be possible at some point of time?
Pete, do you want to answer this question?
Yes, I can try it. I saw that it's just written. It's just written customer, which is a broad term in eBill. If it's the biller, I mean, in fact, we have a test environment on which is similar to production. So all of our cases are testable on this external test environment. Since the question was asked during the presentation of Caro, I thought it's probably about the user, and also the bank can integrate against our external test environments. But maybe we need to have it a little bit more specific in the afterwards. But in general, we have the same capabilities on our external test environment as in production.
Great, thank you, Pitch. Another question for Caro, I guess. It's about donations. One of our guests is asking whether donation confirmations can be sent via eBill as well.
Donation confirmations. I'm not sure what this means, but it's,
I guess it's the receipt, yes.
It's the receipt, yes, they can be sent as well. This is already possible in the current solution as, I don't know what it's called in English, Avisierung, like notifications, I think. They can be received as eBill. So this is just sending a PDF document with an eBill. So we regarded this in our solution outline as well, that donation receipts can be received with an eBill, yes.
Right. The next question is about the filtering that you showed when our customers are looking into their bills. There will be this filter where they can choose or select some, etc. So one person is asking if this filter appears only if the number of bills exceed a specific amount, because according to him or her, in the portal, in his case or in her case, there is only the sortieren button, also the button to sort those.
No, they appear from the beginning. One thing that I forgot to mention is that at the moment you can sort by biller, but from June on, the amount and the date will be added. So then you will be able to see this as well.
Great. Next question is about network partners. So it was mentioned that there are 15 network partners at the moment. However, on the eBill page, as on the web page, only 11 can be seen. So who are those additional 4 who are not visible on the web page? This is the question.
Okay, let me answer these questions. We have signed the contracts with 15 network partners. However, we will only publish names of the network partners once they have gone live. Just for your understanding in this regard. I hope this answers your question.
Very good, thank you. Next question is again about donations. So does the feature donation require an enhancement of the API? This is the question.
Peach, do you want to take this?
Yeah, it's pretty short. I mean, yes, it needs an enhancement, but it's depending on how the solution is integrated with us. So if it's a full integration into the online banking, then there need to be some more adjustments. For example, if a bank is only using the quick approval feature, where they can approve bills in the online banking, then they need to extend it in the future that is also donations are supported for quick approval. But in general, for portal banks, there shouldn't be too much impact, as Caro said. But as we are before specification, and we are not 100% sure, but probably there won't be any big change for portal banks.
Very good. Again, about donation, this is a topic that apparently arouses a lot of questions. One of our participants would like to know if the recipients will have the possibility to prevent such kind of documents in their portal? So when somebody doesn't want such requests, is it possible to prevent it or block it?
Yes, this was also a point that we're discussing a lot when we are designing this feature. If a user doesn't want to have to do anything with donations, he won't see it and feel it, and he would not notice that there's eBill donations. He can decide from which companies he would like to receive eBill donation requests, and he can activate the lookup specifically for donation companies. So only if he wants to, we will receive donation requests from companies that he hasn't specifically said, yes, I want to receive them from. So if I'm a user who doesn't want to have any donations within eBill, he won't get anything and he won't be annoyed. This was something that was very important in our concept phase, because we also did some interviews with users. We did surveys, and we found that most of eBill users do donate, and a lot of them would like to pay the invoices over eBill, but there has been a smaller percentage who don't want to have anything to do with eBill invoices, with donations requests within eBill, and those won't see anything. So yes, we're taking care of this.
So there is going to be an opt-in concept, as you were saying, Caro, that answers also our next question. In that case, there is an opt-in, right?
Yep.
Good. Last question at this point of time is who will receive donation requests? Only those who are willing to donate something, or those, or will those donation requests be visible to every eBill user? I guess it's practically the same question.
It's the same question, exactly. Right. If I say I'm willing to receive donations request, those donation companies that have my email address and that are allowed to send me donations request can send it to me. If I don't give this opt-in, only those companies where I specifically say I want to receive donations requests from company XYZ can send it to me and nobody else. So as a user, I have full control of how I want to set this up and how much donations I want to see or receive within eBill. You can close the door or open the door, let's say like this.
Okay, great. So that was all.
So thank you very much for your questions. This brings us to the end of our webinar. We heard many exciting topics, and I hope there was something for everyone. Thank you again for your participation and the interesting question. It was a pleasure having you here today. If you
Axel,
have any
I'm sorry.
questions, yeah.
Yeah, there is one last question just popped in right now. I'm sorry for that. So somebody is saying that they are working for a network partner. So and he says there is from the side of the recipients, the bill recipients, no pressure on the eBill invoice issuers. That they would like to have eBill rather than paper bills. So the invoice issuer is not really motivated to switch or to transform their mail, the bills per mail or something like that into eBill. So what are the possibilities for banks? What can banks do in the future to stimulate this maybe, or to add some pressure?
I think the phase out of the ASA and the AS is a very good opportunity for banks to talk with their Rechnungssteller about eBill as an alternative, for example, for QR, for email invoices, something like that.
So maybe the person is under the impression.
So we will reach a lot of Rechnungssteller.
Right. It's just that the last comment is that they have they are of the opinion that all those maybe also marketing measures are not really sufficient, or this is the comment.
So these are measures that every bank can handle to talk with their Rechnungssteller. Bring them to eBill.
Right, that seemed to be really the last question I have. I can see no new question coming in.
Okay, if you have any questions afterwards, so please do not hesitate to contact us. We will be very pleased to help you. And as I mentioned at the beginning, the webinar was recorded, and this recording and the presentations will be sent to you by email after the webinar. Let's say goodbye and hopefully see you soon in one of the next webinars or on another occasion. Bye-bye.